Middle engine rewritten. The famous engine Mallard was visiting Sodor, and all the engines were excited. But out of all the engines, Percy was the most excited. He was getting his jobs done as fast as he could, so he could meet Mallard. He had heard stories about Mallard from Gordon and Spencer, and he really wanted to meet him. He soon arrived at the coaling depot, and began to fill his trucks up with coal. As the last truck was about to be filled, something happened. Some trucks filled with coal came rolling towards him. They bumped into him, rolled him under the coal hopper, and coal spilt all over Percy. "Who did that?" Percy said. "Seems you're the middle engine now, Percy," Arry said. "Yes, have fun trying to navigate the Sodor," said Bert, and they oiled away, laughing. "I'll never meet Mallard now," Percy said, and he steamed off trying to navigate Sodor. When Percy finished his jobs, he went to the washdown, only to find James there. "James, I was going to have a washdown. I saw you on my way to finish off my Keldrine, and you barely had any dirt on you," Percy said angrily. "Well," said James, "I need to look my best for Mallard." "Just let me use a washdown, James," said Percy. "Well, I am too splendid, and I need to be even more splendid for when Mallard gets here," James said. "James, you're not even that dirty, just let me get in." "But Percy," James said, but before he could even finish, something sudden happened. "How about this now, James?" Bert said. "Yeah, James, so I'll work while we meet Mallard," said Arry, and the two diesels ran off. "You set this up, didn't you, Percy?" James said. "No, they made me a middle engine earlier as well. I'm gonna go and tell Sir Topham Hatt about this." "He will, then the diesels will have to do their work," Percy said, and he rushed off to Knapford. Soon Percy raced into Knapford and talked to Sir Topham Hatt. Sir, he said. "Look, Percy, I am very busy right now. If you could tell me after I finish doing this paperwork for Mallard, then it'll be great, alright, Percy?" "But sir..." "Not now, Percy. I have to do this paperwork. Tell me when I've done with the papers," and Sir Topham Hatt walked away. Percy was sad, and he slowly steamed back to the washdown. Soon Percy steamed back to the washdown and saw James was nearly done. "So what did Sir Topham Hatt say?" James said. "Well, he's busy and, sorting out paperwork for Mallard." "Oh dear, I have to go and leave the trucks on the siding." Wait, said Percy. "What?" said James. "How about we make Arry and Bert a middle engine?" "That's a great idea, Percy. We just have to find Arry and Bert." "Yes, I know, James, but where could they be?" "Well, Lee might be trying to do another middle engine on another engine," James said. "Maybe," said Percy. "So let's find out," Percy said again. So the two engines steamed off to find Arry and Bert. They soon reached Knapford Yard and saw Arry and Bert planning something. "What are they planning?" Percy said. "I don't know," said James. "You better listen in." "So, Bert, When Mallard comes here, we'll make him a middle engine. Then when he finally gets back here too, and then when he finally has to go and meet all the other engines, he will look like a disgrace to them. Oh, that's a good idea, Harry. Then we'll be the new engines taking his place, putting his express tour train to London. Yes, said Harry. We have to stop them, said Percy. I think I see a sighting of trucks over there, said James. Go get them, and then I'll go and get it. We'll go and get them. You get the trucks in front of them, I'll get the trucks behind them. Alright, James? Percy said. Yes, said James. Soon James and Percy got the trucks, and Percy told James a plan. Alright, so I'll blow some steam out my funnel, and then once I do, you begin to shunt the trucks in front of them. Alright? Percy said. Alright, said James. Soon James and Percy were ready to put their plan into action. Arry and Bert still hadn't noticed Percy and James, but it would be too late by the time they would. Soon Percy gave out the puff signal and bashed into the back of Arry and Bert. Oh, who did that? Arry said. Yes, detach us from these trucks now, Bert ordered. Never! James shouted. James, watch out! That's too fast! Percy said. Uh-oh, said Arry and Bert. This is what you get for making me and Percy a middle engine. James caused a big accident. Oh my, Percy said. What was that noise? Sir Topham Hatt said, and he exited his office and went to the crash site. What happened here? Sir Topham Hatt said. I'm only signing papers so Mallard can take an express train back to London, and I come back to the yard to see a massive crash. James, explain yourself. So it was me and Percy that did this. Wait, really? Where's Percy? At the back of the crash site. So Sir Topham Hatt walked over to Percy. Is this true, Percy? Be honest, Percy. Yes, sir. Arry and Bert made me and James the middle engine, and I tried to tell you about it, but you were busy with your papers. So me and James tried to make Arry and Bert a middle engine, but James accidentally caused the crash. Oh dear. He came in too fast, sir. And I did try to warn him, but I don't think he could stop in time. Oh well, Percy. I guess this means that you, James, Arry and Bert are not going to be able to see Mallard arrive, said Sir Topham Hatt. I was going to order him to stay a while, but let one of you, maybe you, Percy, I was still deciding, give him a tour of our islands before he had to go and pull the express. But now, because of this crash, I think he will be here for a couple hours and then go to the express train, Percy. No, alright, sir. Percy, go to the washdown. You're lucky you did not get into the accident. Thank you, sir, said Percy. I'll be sending out Harvey so he can go and clean up this mess. As Percy left the yard, Sir Topham Hatt came to talk to Arry and Bert. Arry and Bert, I will no longer have you on this railway for much longer. I'll be sending you both back to the mainland. I'll be getting Fergus to do your work at the ironworks while you both are getting, before you both can return back to Sodor. You'll be repaired on the mainland, stay there a while, and then return back to Sodor. Is that clear? Yes, sir, said Arry and Bert. Good. Now, I don't want to see you here for the next couple months. And Sir Topham Hatt walked away to go and get Harvey. Soon Harvey arrived at the yard. He saw James, Arry and Bert in the major crash that James had caused. He stopped, uncoupled from his flatbeds, and soon got to work. And began to give them comforting advice, and began to talk to them to help them feel better. "Oh, don't worry, James, Arry and Bert. This could have happened anyway," he said, as he began to get them all onto the rails. Soon, Harvey had took away everything that had been destroyed in the crash away in trucks, and then soon took James, Arry and Bert away. That night, Mallard stayed in Tidmouth sheds in James's spot, but Percy couldn't help but feel bad for the crash that had happened earlier that day. Soon Henry spotted that Percy was sad. "Cheer up," he said. "You always wanted to meet Mallard, so here you go." And he went back to listening to Mallard's stories. Mallard had been telling tons of stories, including the story on how he became the world's fastest steam engine. But Percy couldn't hold it in any longer. "Mr. Mallard?" Percy asked. "Yes, Percy?" Mallard asked. "Is it alright if I can tell you a story real quick of what happened with me and James, Arry and Bert today? I just need to get it out because I'm feeling really bad for it," said Percy. "Go ahead," said Mallard. "So earlier today, Arry and Bert made me and James a middle engine, putting some trucks behind us and in front of us, and well, the top of Mad wouldn't listen to us, so we accidentally crashed them when we were trying to make them a middle engine instead." "Oh, Percy, I understand wanting to get payback when no one's listening to you. I've had it happen before with me and Spencer. But don't worry, we all get like that. So hopefully you can see me exit Napford with my express train tomorrow. And hopefully your friends can come and your crashed up and friends that are at the worst can come and see me too. Hopefully everything will get better for you, Percy," Mallard said. Percy felt a bit better, and so Mallard continued with his stories. At 7 in the morning, everyone had exited the shed to go and see Mallard. But Percy was still waking up, so he has not left the shed yet when the top of Hat came. "Percy, I would like you to go and fetch James for when Mallard pulls his train." "All right, sir," yawned Percy. "So, I would like you to go and get him now if possible." "Yes, sir," Percy yawned again. "That's a good engine," Matt said, and he walked away. "It was nice meeting you," said Mallard. "Oh, you too," said Percy. "Hopefully we can meet again soon, Percy," said Mallard as he sped out the shed. "Yes," said Percy as he yawned into action. Soon Percy puffed into Knapford with James. "Hello, little Percy." "Hello, Gordon," said Percy, as he looked to where Mallard should be, wondering where he was. "Where's Mallard?" said Percy. And just then Mallard sped into Knapford. He coupled up to his express, and a crowd clapped. "It was nice seeing you, little Percy. And nice to meet you, James." "Yes, hello, Mallard. Sorry I could not make it to Tim's sheds last night." That's alright. Hopefully on my next visit we can have a good chat, James. I heard you're the most splendid red engine on Sodor." "Oh, thank you," said James. "Let's get in, you don't want to be late, Mallard?" said Emily. You're right, but Sir Tappermat has a surprise for James and Percy at the back of my train. Oh, what is it? Well, said Sir Tappermat, before I tell you, or I'll show you the surprise, I do want to tell you and James something. James, when you're repaired, you'll be doing Percy's coal duties. Oh, alright, sir, said James. And Percy, you'll be locked up in a shed when James is prepared. Is that clear? Because just getting an engine in the middle, just because they did it to you, is not right, alright, Percy? Hopefully, same with you, James. Hopefully, you can become better engines after this incident. Is that clear? Said Sir Tappermat. Yes, said Percy. Anyways, I must be off, says Mallard. I'll be late, otherwise. Yes, hopefully you will come again soon, Mallard, said Sir Tappermat. Yes, hopefully, said Mallard. Anyways, time to show James and Percy the surprise. Mallard away, says Mallard. And then Percy and James saw Arry and Bert at the back of the train, and they bursted out laughing. Oh, ha, ha, ha. They laughed. This is what we get for making them a middle engine, said Arry. I guess so, said Bert. Percy and James laughed and laughed as they watched Mallard leave into the sunrise.